Hey everyone. Well, every once in a while you just get one of those bottles that you see on a shelf and you just have to grab it. And this is one of them that we're going to review today. We're going to review Angel's Envy Private Selection Saker Shoprites Store Pick Single Barrel 110 Proof Finished in Port Wine barrels. That's a lot to digest. It's a lot to unpack here. First of all, before we do anything, just check out this amazing looking bottle with this little thing around here. It shows here the proof. You got the label on the side, another label, and I'll go through all this right now. But there's just a lot going on here. I'm just going to put this down here and really get into it. First of all, Angel's Envy, the name, it's a nod to the angel share. The angel share is the portion of the whiskey that is evaporated during the barrel aging. And basically, the founder once joked that after tasting, the quote was, after tasting our finished whiskey, we finally got a better deal than the angels. So that's just the name. That's where the Angel's Envy name comes from. So let's get right into this. So this is a very hard to find type of bottle, and just came upon it. I was in a ShopRite Liquors in Freehold. Happened to see this. This is not something you see often. Basically, Angel's Envy, you really have three main expressions. You have the Angel's Envy finished in port wine barrels, but the regular one, which is 86, I think like 86 proof or something around that. Then you have the one that's finished they have the rye that's finished in rum casks, and then you have the cask strength finished in port wine barrels. So basically, this is proof-wise, this is somewhere between a lot closer to the cask strength, but just a little bit beneath that. But before we get into that, basically the specifics about this is part of the Angel's Envy private selection program, which is not something that you even see that often. This is barrel number SB-231148, bottle number 52. I imagine is about, depending on the proof, it's one of 276, something in that range bottles, which kind of makes sense given the size of the barrel and the proof that's being used here. The company is Bacardi Limited. They've been the company as of 2015. There's no age statement here, but it's basically thought of to be about 6 years aging in the primary barrel, and then another 3 to 6 months aged in the port wine barrel. So this is very interesting. The mash bill of the Angel's Envy bourbon, this is going to be the same mash bill that's in the regular one. That's not the private selection. It is 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley, so a decent rye component there. And basically, the entire Angel's Envy line started in, I believe, 2011. It's run by Wes Henderson, which is the son of Lincoln Henderson. His name is on the bottle. And basically, as far as the finishing process with the regular one and the single barrel one, they're finished in, so they're aged to say, let's just go with the 6 years, even though it's not officially age stated. Then the finishing process is in 60-gallon ruby port barrels, made from French oak and imported from Portugal. And basically, as far as the private selection program, this is something that is very interesting, because it's not like, the private selection program of Maker's Mark, I think, is a lot more well known. They started, this was not that long ago. It's only been in since 2020, because I remember seeing this one. And I never really saw anything with private selection until recently. Started in 2020. These barrels are bottled between 100 and 110 proofs. This is 110 proof, so it's the top end of that. The reason for the lower proof than, say, the cask strength 120 is basically to distinguish it, because they felt that if they battled this at cask strength, they would kind of get blurred between the cask strength offerings, which I think are our annual releases, and these private selections. So basically, the cask strength's 120 proof. This is 110 proof, or would range between 100 and 110 proof. So that's really the story with this. But what's interesting is just that you just don't. I remember seeing the cask strength. I've seen the three, basically the cask strength and the two, the regular port wine barrel 86 proof and the rum. But I've rarely seen this one. So this is the private selection program. It's a store pick single barrel of Angel's Envy, but the port wine finishing, but at 110 proof, not at the 86. And just one quick comment before I get this on a glass. Angel's Envy was one of the first and one of the earliest bourbons I remember trying. I remember I was in Seasons 52 restaurant, which is a chain, and I know there's many areas that have it in different states. And this one was in Princeton, New Jersey, and I remember ordering this Angel's Envy bourbon, 86 proof, finished in port wine, and I absolutely loved it. And I remember searching for the bottle, or I believe my wife got it for me, found it, and I just loved it. At the time, it was really perfect, but as I got into higher proof whiskeys, I kind of thought the price range of the Angel's Envy is not one of the cheaper bottles, and I kind of thought for that price range, 86 proof was kind of on the weak side. So I really kind of hesitated to get it again, and I wasn't really looking for the rye. And then I see this. So basically, I'm hoping this is everything that Angel's Envy 86 proof is, just amped up at 110 proof. Very excited to try this. So I want to get this in a glass and let's get started. Just one quick turn around to look at this great bottle. Really, really nice. Okay, that was a nice cork pop, beautiful bottle. Let's get right into this. Now I do get some. There is a little bit of ethanol coming out. It's kind of potent. There's a sweet smell. I do detect some type of a wine smell. It would be normal because there is a port wine barrel these are finished in. There is some sweetness, maybe some cinnamon, but definitely a rich type of a smell that does impart some smells from the wine barrels. All right, let's get right into this. Cheers. Oh, that's really good. I am getting hit with a little bit more of the cinnamon that I had on the palate. Now rather that was on the nose, I'm getting hit with that on the palate. A little bit of oak. I do detect there is a nice mix of some of the typical bourbon notes, cinnamon. I do taste that. I do have some oak, but I do detect a very subtle. You could detect a subtle wine taste from the port wine. It's definitely there. And as the way I recall it, it's basically everything that I detected in the 86 proof bourbon finished in port wine barrels, but amped up to the 110 proof that this is. It's just bringing out everything that I liked about it. My biggest complaint about it was that it was, at my stage now, was a bit weak. And the 110 proof, I think, is a perfect proof for this. This is a really, really nice pour. This is one of those things where, as wonderful as this bottle looks, it's every bit as good as in the liquid inside. %, rye. There is a spice in it. It's not overwhelming. It's basically, there is definitely some potency with the proof. There's some sweetness. There's some oak. Yes, there's some rye spice. And yes, there is that, the port wine barrels that it's aged in from 3 to 6 months do impart some flavor. And here's the deal. I obviously love bourbon. I love rum too, and that probably would be good for the rye that's aged in rum casks. But I was a wine drinker for many years before I even got into rum, so I definitely appreciate the taste of the bourbon mixed with wine. And on the flip side, I've done the wine that were aged in the bourbon barrels, and I have some of those. So this is a good one. If you can find a store pick like this, I would say definitely go and grab it. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Take care.